Welcome to Wavemakers Audio Plays. I'm your host, Hillary Muckovitz. Every month we bring you a brand new audio play. Here's how it works. This past June, all of our writing teams were given 4 weeks to write a 15 to 30-minute audio play for a team of 3 actors. Each writer was given a sound prompt and a setting they had to use in their script. We have reached the finale of our first season. This story comes from Dan Burkey. The setting was underwater. This was the sound effect. The actors are Barbara Alvarez, Blaine Huber, and Hillary Muckovitz. Put on your scuba gear and prepare for an adventure under the sea with Terrarium by Dan Burkey.
Welcome back to This American Experience. I'm Myron Brass. This hour, a miracle. Or is it something stranger? As you may recall, 5 years ago, we reported on the loss of one of our producers, Mackenzie Friedoff, in a plane crash over the Mediterranean. No survivors. The black box from the plane never found. But earlier this month, it seemed out of nowhere.
After 5 years, a survivor from Air France Flight 294.
La seule survivante, Mackenzie Friedoff, découverte après 5 ans à la mer Méditerranée.
The story of Mackenzie Friedoff, an American radio producer who washed up alive in the French Riviera dressed in what appeared to be a 17th century Dutch peasant costume.
The full story, it turns out, is even stranger than the headlines. And Mackenzie, the consummate public radio professional, was able to record the whole thing. Welcome home, Mackenzie.
Thanks. It's good to be back in the studio.
I am absolutely floored to see you again.
I wasn't sure if I would make it this far.
We're here today to learn how you made it and what you found along the way. I'll let you set the scene for us.
I'll start with the part where I fell off the face of the earth. More or less literally. I was on my way to Paris to do a story on American expats who go to Paris with a very specific idea in their heads of what they'll find and how they'll live. The cafes with snobby waiters, the artists in berets. You've seen it depicted everywhere, this sort of platonic ideal of the timeless continental lifestyle. The plan was to talk to some of them and see how their vision had changed after living abroad for a few years. I had the idea because I used to be one of these people. The way I saw it, I just wanted what every basic white girl wants. To move to Paris, sit in cafes, drinking little cups of coffee by day and big glasses of wine by night. Reading poetry from old books I'd find at shops along the Seine. Listening to accordion music in the streets and tossing coins to mimes. I was drifting through life, no real purpose. Even my radio work was starting to get, jaded. Why am I here? Why am I asking people questions if I don't care about the answers?
You know, most people wouldn't bring up those questions in a public conversation with their boss.
That's what's so great about you, Myron. You're curious about everything and people tell you the truth. And I'm glad to say I don't feel jaded about my work anymore.
That's a great walk back.
Right. But my point is, at the time, I wanted to escape that whole question. Living the bohemian Paris life, I wouldn't need purpose. I could just be. Or that was the hypothesis. I wanted to find out from people who had tested it. I was an anthropologist on the hunt for a culture that might or might not actually exist. So I packed up my recording equipment and got on a plane. I don't have any tape from the flight because I wasn't expecting that it would be the last normal thing that would happen to me for 5 years. But I can set the scene. It's an overnight flight from Chicago, and I've been sleeping. I wake up to the ding of the fasten seatbelt sign and the sound of everyone around me buckling up. The sun is rising out the window, and the pilot tells us that we can see northern Africa out the right side and Spain on the left. He says it in French. À gauche, on voit l'Espagne. And then, an explosion. It's chaos for a couple minutes as pressure rushes out and the oxygen masks flop around. But it's hard to process what's even happening. There's another sound of shearing metal and a gust of wind. I can't tell which way is up, just that I'm spinning. And then darkness. It's cold. I hear murky voices and bubbles. And then I wake up. I'm damp, but not as much as I'd expect. There's sandy dirt under my fingers. Next to me, I find my carry-on bag, and inside that, the waterproof case with my recording equipment. Here's the first sound I recorded after I woke up. Testing, testing. Oh my gosh, this is working. This is Mackenzie Friedoff, and I think I just survived a plane crash. Listening to this tape again, I'm struck by the way that even though I was trying to get away from everything, in this moment of crisis, I was keeping a pretty clear head, which was good because I was about to process a lot of things all at once. This is really weird. It looks like a farm in a Vermeer painting. There's a barn, a little cottage with a thatched roof, some haystacks, but it's like a stage set. 2 walls are missing from the house so you can see in, and you can see all the animals in the barn. There's the cow. But above me and all around, where if it was a Vermeer painting, there would be fluffy clouds and a blue sky, is a wobbly oval of light and shadow. I think I'm inside a giant bubble. Later, I would find out that the farm was actually built based on a Vermeer painting, one that had been lost in a shipwreck over 300 years ago. It looks like a museum or a living history site.
Oh, hey, Linda. They brought us somebody new.
There were 2 people sitting at a table inside the house with no walls, also dressed like a Vermeer painting. Floppy hats, wooden shoes, everything a little cleaner and better styled than you'd expect from farmers in the 1600s. So I did what any good NPR producer would do. I interviewed them.
I'm Joe Vanden Heuvel, and I was born and raised in Oostburg, Wisconsin.
And I'm Linda Vanden Heuvel, Joe's wife of 37 years, also from Oostburg originally, but we've spent pretty much all those years at the bottom of the ocean.
She wanted to go to Paris for our honeymoon.
I always dreamed about seeing the Eiffel Tower, the Mona Lisa, sitting in cafes and listening to people talking French.
Cruise ship's more romantic than flying, she said.
You were scared of flying.
I did say if we wanted to go listen to people speak French, it would have been cheaper to take a couple of ferries over to Canada.
And you were so right, Joe. I shouldn't have doubted you. Our ship went down in a storm.
If it's any consolation, I ended up here because of a plane crash.
Yeah, see? Flying's dangerous.
So where is this exactly?
If you listen close, they'll tell you.
And there it was, like an overhead speaker filtered through a bathtub.
Welcome to the unenchanted world of humans. Like zebras and rhinoceroses, humans originated on the grasslands of Africa before spreading to nearly every corner of the world. All humans in our exhibits were rescued from shipwrecks to avoid any impact to their natural environments.
They play that every 15 minutes or so. I think we're in some kind of zoo.
To be precise, we were in the Atlantean Terrarium, the largest tourist attraction at the bottom of the Mediterranean Sea. Think like an aquarium, but in reverse, near the site of the original Atlantis. Animals from every continent, each kept in their own individual bubble enclosures. And who was lining up for the attraction?
Mermaids.
And mermen, merfolks. Every day, these hands reach in and drop us some food, clothes, supplies, and what have you. Every now and then a fish swims in and starts flopping around. We're not sure if it's food or a paying customer, so we just put them back.
Joe and Linda have been here since before our show got started. Did you ever listen to public radio back on the surface?
We were always AM radio folks, you know, back when we had a radio.
Now, if we want music, we have to make it. Every now and then we get a plastic bottle, so I've been working on my water bottle polka.
Can I hear?
Oh, yeah.
That's really something.
Would have been better if we'd gone down with an accordion, but we count our blessings.
It makes some things a lot easier, you know. It's tough to live a good, God-fearing life with so many distractions, like technology and TV, media, wars, drugs, vices, all that stuff. Here, it's just what our Dutch ancestors would have had, minus all the diseases and tulip panics. The house came with an old Bible printed in Dutch, which was good enough for my grandfather, and it's good enough for us. And we have all the food we need.
It's like the Garden of Eden, if it was a zoo for mermaids.
We were never sure about eating the pigs or the chickens, with this being more of a family-friendly display, but we got fresh milk, eggs, and whatever they give us. And we got an oven. Linda's the best baker at the bottom of the ocean.
You're too sweet.
No, your stroop cooking is too sweet.
Now I'm blushing.
Joe and Linda taught me a lot about life on an underwater Dutch farm in the 1600s. Milking cows.
Squeeze one udder at a time. Just get the rhythm.
Like this. Hey, it's working. Gathering eggs. Even shearing sheep. Linda spins the wool into yarn and knits things.
This is a sweater for an octopus, and this is a little mitten for a fish, like for the fin. That's why there's no thumb. I don't know if they ever tried them on, but we toss them out there sometimes as a way to give back to the community.
For a long time, I don't see much of the community. Just faint outlines of people with fishtails on the other side of the bubble. For almost 5 years, it's just me, Joe, Linda, and the animals, living in a Vermeer painting. And then one day, someone drops in.
Oof!
Are you okay?
I think so. I forgot this is air in here, and you can't swim through air.
You're a mermaid.
I'm a mermaid princess.
This is Princess Pearl Oystershell. She's 6 years old and very curious.
My mom is the queen of the whole ocean, and someday I'm going to be the queen. So I think it's important to learn all the stuff about land animals, too.
What do you want to know?
I have lots of questions. First, what are legs like? Second, why can't you breathe water? Third, is this just like the house you lived in on the surface? Fourth, how do you drink rain? Fifth, what's the difference between a radio and an air conditioner? And what's after fifth?
Sixth.
What did that duck just say?
I don't know. He's a rooster. That's the sound they make.
But you're all land animals here.
I can't talk to animals, just people.
So how do you know what all the other animals are thinking?
We just have to guess.
Weird. Is that a unicorn?
That's a cow.
I always wanted to see a unicorn, but they never have one at the terrarium.
I don't think unicorns are real.
But they're like the narwhals of the land.
As you can expect, this went on for a while.
Have you ever been to Paris? Like the real one?
I always wanted to. I was headed there before I came here.
That's my favorite place, and I want to go there. We have just one street of it to look at here.
You have a street from Paris?
They call it the streets of Paris, but it's just the one street. I want to see the real one with all of the streets and all of the people, but the water in the river is really dirty, so you can't swim there.
Is there a way you could take me there?
Only if you pinky promise me to be my best friend for a month.
I pinky promise.
Okay, Princess Coral is going to be so jealous.
Turns out it was close enough I could swim there in one breath. And there I was, finally, on a street corner in Paris. Or at least a pretty good facsimile for an underwater zoo exhibit. This is exactly what I always imagined. Maybe with some bicycles going by, but these guys really did their homework. Oh, excuse me, monsieur?
You seem lost. Are you a milkmaid?
I'm actually a radio producer, and it's a funny story. This is Jean-Paul. He's been here for a while.
Every day, I sit at the same sidewalk table, drinking a strange aquatic version of cafe and pretending to read the same newspaper. I paid no attention to the news before I came here, but now I can recite from heart everything that happened in France on August 19, 1998.
What about the bookshop?
Waterlogged textbooks thrown into the sea during a protest.
Are they controversial?
No, just very poorly written and very difficult to read from all the mildew.
What about the accordion guy in the mime?
They do their own thing. I think they come from Eastern Europe, but now they are masters of their art.
Do you toss coins to them?
What would they buy?
I didn't think about that. But you just sit here?
Mostly, yes, in the cafe. And also, I have a small apartment in the top floor. The building has no floors in between.
Must be a lot of stairs.
One must exercise.
Is there a waiter?
I am the waiter. I wait on myself, and sometimes the accordionist. The mime only pretends to drink.
Do you get bored?
I savor every moment of ennui. I once wished for a life of adventure. I became a sailor, then a submarine explorateur, a diver. I devoured Jacques Cousteau. I wanted the wind on my face and the water under my feet. I wanted to see what no man has ever seen, to go where he has not gone. One day, I go out of the submarine in a pressurized suit on a dive. I hear the song of the siren coming from below, and bit by bit, I begin to see a city. My oxygen tank is lower than I might like, but I must know. The pride of discovery, you see. Do I share with my crew? No. I am drawn by towering buildings of coral, the glow of luminescent plankton in street lamps, people with fish tails swimming through the streets, if you can call them streets, paved with living shellfish. I take a photo, and another, and another. But now my air is very low. Still, it is enough to return. I swim back to the submarine, but something is wrong. It is close to the seafloor and tilting sideways. I hear the engine, then she stops. The lights go dim, and then a tiny sound, and the vessel collapses like a tin can. I have no air. I am too deep, and if I make it to the surface, I have no boat. I panic, of course, but I turn and see behind me a team of mermaids and mermen carry my crew, each man with a bubble of air around his head. I wave, but they do not see me. They are too far. I shine a light, and they turn. And then all is dark. I wake up to the sound of accordion. I am alive. I am lucky. And it is enough. Do I tire of rereading the events of August 19, 1998 as I drink a strange cafe? No.
Don't you feel like you need a sense of purpose?
My purpose here is to perform the act of being a human in a cafe. It is the highest calling available to me. I must choose it every day. It is the question we must ask. Do I exist? Does Paris exist? What is Paris if not a construction of society and the mind? If I ask what does it mean, this life trapped in a world where consequences does not exist for my actions? If I begin to shout at the mime or stab a fork through the folds of the accordion, what is the result? The mime mocks me. And I must suffer to listen to music that can no longer be in tune. But to the fish who looks upon us, to the humans on the surface, what difference is made? It is an absurdity. No. If my life is to have meaning, I must create it every day. I eat, I drink, I read, I sleep. And today, I speak to you.
I have to admit, Jean-Paul's outlook on life sounded a lot like what I was looking for when I started my journey. But I thought back to my time with Joe and Linda, with the animals and the awkward polka, and even to Princess Pearl's curiosity about people in general. And it made me wonder, how many other weird and interesting things are out there in the world? I eventually flagged down Princess Pearl on another visit, and she figured out how to do the bubblehead trick well enough to get me back to the coast.
Do you think you'll go back and try to find the mermaid community again? Or maybe rescue the people who are still down there?
They all seem pretty happy. And if the mermaids want to get in touch with us, they can figure it out. Maybe when Princess Pearl becomes queen. And I'm definitely done with wooden shoes.
So, if you're not stepping up to be the next mermaid ambassador, what's next for you?
I think I'll actually head to Scotland. A boat full of tourists sank last week in Loch Ness, and I have a really good feeling I know how to find them.
You've been listening to Terrarium by Dan Burkey, featuring Barbara Alvarez as Mackenzie Friedhoff, Blaine Huber as Myron Brass, Joe Vandenheuvel and Jean-Paul, Hilary Muckovitz as British newscaster, American newscaster, Linda Vandenheuvel and Princess Pearl Oystershell, and a cameo from playwright Dan Burkey as French newscaster. Music included our theme song, Ghost Dance, Scheming Weasel, Duet Musette, and Aquarium by Kevin MacLeod, Incompetech.com, and Arabesque by Gregor Quendel under a Creative Commons license. Check out our show notes for a complete listing of credits for all our sound effects. Special thanks to our chief aerial unicyclist and advisor, Dan Burkey, consigliere Carrie Fitch, pal and confidant Jax Clace, and our boss, Benjamin Gartman. I recently asked him which of our first season episodes would be better to play on Valentine's Day. Mug and Flab Purchase a Rocket Booster or Holiday City Cruise Line, and he responded,
Cruise ships more romantic than flying.
This has been our last episode of Season 1, but fear not, fair listeners. A couple of bonus episodes are on the way, and this summer we will be writing and recording Season 2. If you've enjoyed what you've heard this season, why not recommend Wavemakers to a friend or give us a review on Apple Podcasts? We've had over 200 downloads this season and would love to share our stories with more people. Wavemakers audio plays are recorded and edited by me, Hilary Muckovitz, here in the Malibu of the Midwest, Sheboygan, Wisconsin. Thanks for listening. Until next time, keep making waves.